shot him. He wouldn't have gone outside for him. Who did this to Andre? They set him up. It was somebody he knew because he got a phone call and he went outside, and when he got outside, they shot him. He wouldn't have gone outside for him. Who did this to Andre? They set him up. It was somebody.
The news about Tim Norman from Sweetie Pies, oh my goodness, it broke my heart, just broke my heart. I am, excuse me, I'm a huge fan of the show, or I was when it was on, and it was on for 7 seasons. I watched every episode. There's not an episode that I missed. There are little clips that, side stuff that they did. I watched it. I felt close to them as a family, as close as you can feel watching this show. Sometimes, I don't know about you yourself, but for me, I feel connected. You feel connected after you watch the show. We know we only get to see a certain amount of their lives, but the little bit that we see seems like a lot, and we feel like we get to know these people. Or at least I do. I can't speak for we. I can only speak for me. Anyway, I was driving home yesterday on my way home from walking, and I got a text from my son with this link, and I just responded like, I'll check it when I get home. I'm driving. And so when I got to like a first stop sign, not a stop sign, at the stoplight, I kind of glanced the link because, in the link it has some details about what it's about. And that Tim Norman had been arrested for conspiracy, murder of his nephew. Oh my goodness, I couldn't do anything but clutch my invisible pearls. Did you watch this show? How did just seeing this, because it blew up all over social media, how did seeing this affect you? Like, how did it make you feel? For me, it made me feel so angry, like total disbelief. And then I thought, oh my goodness, I pray for Ms.Robbie because she took his death, the death of Andre, her grandson, really hard. And then when I was able to click the link in that, the mug shot, this dude is smiling in that mug shot like he just won a prize. He's just like he's taking a school picture, like heartless. And you know why you're there, why you have been arrested, why you have been charged. And this is your mug shot. You killed your nephew. You killed your mom's grandson. You saw how your mother grieved for the loss of her grandson. Like, how dare you? How dare you? And for 4 years, because Andre was killed in 2016, here we are in 2020. For 4 years, Tim has continued to live his life as if like normal. Like, I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Like, I'm angry. And no, they are not of any relations to me, except we're all children of God. And I was a huge fan of the show. And because I'm a huge fan, I even have gone to St. Louis at least a minimum twice, because of the show, and just because I wanted to meet Ms.Robbie. I wanted to meet Tim and Miss Jan, Miss Linda, Mr. George, Ms.Robbie's sisters and brothers. I wanted to meet Andre and Charles, but I never got to meet the boys. I never got to meet Tim, but we had a small exchange on social media, maybe at least twice. I could only find one of them. I never got to meet Andre or Charles because the times that I went, they had already started expanding the brand, so they weren't always there at the restaurants. So I ended up visiting the first restaurant that Miss Robbie had opened there, which at the time it was closed. So I went to um, Sweetie Pies. Oh my goodness, I forgot the street that it's on. So I went to that one, and then I also went to Upper Crust. So there were three locations at the time. The first one, Mangrove. It was Sweetie Pies on Mangrove, and then it was Upper Crust. So I visited all three of those spots, and I did get to meet Miss Robbie. I got to meet her two sisters, Miss Jan and Miss Linda. I also got to meet her brother, Mr. George. And I remember the second time that I had gone, I went, it was a bus trip. And this is why they were going, because a lot of us, we really loved the show and we enjoyed it and we wanted to go eat. We wanted to check out the food or whatever. And so on the second time I went on this bus trip with a lot of people. And it was Miss Linda. I want to say it was Linda. Like I saw her and I was like, "Hi, Miss Linda." I was like, can I have a hug and can I get a picture? And she hugged me, like she gave me the biggest hug and she held on, and it was like she knew me. Like we were genuinely connected. And so much so that one of the ladies that was on the trip with us that time, she was like, wow, she was like, do you know her? Like, I was like, no, like, I'm just a fan of the show, blah, blah, blah. She was like, well, wow, she hugged you like y'all were family, like, y'all went to high school together or something like that. And that wasn't the case, but, kindred connections. Like, I love them like family, like, 7 seasons this show was on. Anyway, this whole thing with Tim, I don't know how it all came about. Like, how did they connect all these dots and then boom, they slammed us with this? I'm sure, or I am wondering, have they been, just following a trail since the insurance policy? Because from what I've read, Tim got the insurance policy in 2016. I think it was 2016. No, 2014, because Andre was killed in 2016. And as they said, about a week later after his death, that Tim tried to make the claim on the insurance policy for $450,000. And he didn't have all the documents or whatever that he needed. So I don't think he ever collected on the insurance policy. And what makes me so mad about that is the fact that why would you have your nephew killed for $450,000 when, and I can't say this for 100% certainty, but I'm going to say it as if I know. Like, you weren't hurting for money. At the time, in 2016, when Andre was killed, they had a very popular show on the Oprah Winfrey Network, on, and the businesses were booming because it brought people from everywhere to St. Louis to check out their restaurants. And this is why they were able to expand their businesses and even take it out of St. Louis. They were at once going to open up in Memphis, but on Beale Street, but that didn't fall through. So they opened up locations in Houston, California before Houston, and then so California, Houston, Mississippi, and then there were several locations in the Missouri area. And this is just, oh my goodness, it's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. It is heartbreaking because his mom cared about Andre, her grandson, from her oldest son who was killed back in mid-90s. Her oldest son, Tim's brother, was murdered, and Andre was his son. So how could you just have anything to do with killing your brother's son? your nephew, your mom's grandson. Your mom brought him out there to help him, to keep him out of trouble, get him through high school, in which she did, and she had sent him back home to Texas. But when he was there on a visit, you set him up to be killed. How disgusting, how despicable, how unbelievable, heartbreaking. It's sad. My prayers and my heart goes out to Ms.Robbie, because in watching the show during that time and recent clips that I'm going to share, she talked about how she felt, or she knew it had to be somebody that he knew, because somebody called him on the phone and asked him to come outside from where he was, and they killed him. It had to be somebody he knew. This is what she was saying. And she was also saying that somebody knows something, like somebody come forward and so that they can have closure. But how can she have closure knowing that her son, did you hear that? Her son had his nephew, her grandson, killed? How can you put a period at the end of that? You can't. You can't. Like, how can you? That is just terrible. It's terrible. It's sad. It's never something I would have even expected. And I know Tim has been had some issues with Janae, the mom of his oldest son, Timmy, and he's had some interactions with the law. Jennifer Williams from Basketball Wives put a restraining order on him and everything. And you know what? Just seeing this and that he's capable of having his own nephew killed made me think about when Miss Robbie's house was broken into, and how all of her things were just tossed around the house, just tossed around. And how she was saying, like, whoever it was, they had to have been there for a minute to have gone from room to room to toss her things around like that. And not only that, not only was her house broken into, but one of the restaurants, if I recall, I think it was just one of them, one of those restaurants was broken into also. And so I'm like, oh my goodness, please don't let him have had anything to do with those two break-ins. But if he had it in him to have his own nephew killed, I don't put that past him either. It's sad, but I don't put that past him either. And again, my heart, my prayers of strength and courage to help her, Miss Robbie, and the rest of the family to be able to get through this is with them. I'm adding them to my prayers, especially in this time, because they're gonna need it. Like, how can you even comprehend things to this nature? Like, you want to say, I'm surprised, but it's hard to be surprised by things that happens in this world. It's just sad. It's so sad. I'm going to rewatch. I'm going to binge watch like the 7 seasons. It's going to take me a while, but I'm going to watch the show again just because I want to. And nostalgia. And it's just crazy because I've been watching some clips, and you see where Miss Robbie is breaking down. She's crying and she's talking about her nephew, and Tim is right there, like trying to console her. Can you, even though this is her son, and when imagine her feeling his touch in those moments, now knowing what has come out, it's like repulsive. It's just sad. Listen, I got a few pictures and a few video clips I want to share with you guys, and I just want to say thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. The girl, Tara, the stripper that, I don't know, I don't know her, so I didn't bring her up, but I was wondering, now that I think about her, did she get busted first and she sung like a canary? You know, because that's how it always happens. And supposedly she got about $10,000 for killing Andre. They said, from what I read, her bank account was in the negative. Yes, she was a stripper, exotic dancer, whatever you want to call it. No disrespect to the craft. It is what it is as far as that goes. But apparently she needed money. Her account was in the negative by a few $1,000s. And so they concocted this plan to come up on this insurance money, again, which was $450,000. And like the next, they had their texts and the phone calls. They had the pings from the phone and the locations, necessary locations. And then even as soon as a day after the murder, she's making deposits into her account. Made a deposit on this day for that amount. She made a deposit on another day for another amount. So all in all, it was just less than $10,000 that she deposited within a few days. And then probably within a week or 2 weeks, he supposedly gave her the balance of $700 or $800 to round it out to $10,000. So if I'm not mistaken, it was about $10,000 that he put on the life of his nephew. Anyway, y'all, let's just pray for Miss Robbie. Pray for Charles, because he took the death hard. He and Andre had built a real good relationship. When Andre came to St. Louis to live with Miss Robbie, because I don't think they were as close before then. And I pray for just the family in general, especially Miss Robbie, because that has to hurt. That has to hurt. So prayers of strength, courage, wisdom, guidance, and I hope that, I hope she finds peace. And I think she should just cut all ties to her son. Like, he deserves nothing. He deserves nothing. Just like he felt Andre deserved nothing. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share, like, comment, and say a prayers for Miss Robbie and the whole Sweetie Pies family, everyone that cared for Andre, especially his mom out in Texas. Thank you for watching.
He was my grandson, and there were so many things that I loved about him. Every moment we think about Andre, we really miss him, you know. His mother's not good yet. She's still wondering who did this, why they did it, and so it's a mystery. It's not like they got the person. So I think when they get the person, we'll have a little closure, but we'll never forget it. I don't want to do this.
I wasn't used to seeing everybody else's emotions. And at that point, I needed to get out of the room.
Andre is like one of the beats in my heart, and it's gone. It's gone, and we can't get him back. We tried to give him a better life, and he lost his life here. But we could have closure if somebody would tell who did this to Andre. They set him up. It was somebody he knew because he got a phone call and he went outside, and when he got outside, they shot him. He wouldn't have gone outside for a stranger. So we pray every night for the police to find the people that did this to Andre. So I want to thank you all for coming out and ask that you all keep us in your prayers, and especially Andre's family that's here from Texas that came up for this, and pray that they go back home safe, and pray for closure for our family for this. Thank you all. Thank you.
At this time, you all will have the lighting of the candles.
Once we had gotten through the program, it was a relief. I can get emotional thinking about the people who turned out for us. I thought we did a beautiful job.
Everybody that spoke had a powerful message. I'm hoping that the community listened, and especially the black men, so we can pull together, uplift each other, support each other, and not kill each other.
I drove my mom through the park to the spot where Andre lost his life, because I had not been there yet. I don't think Mom had been there either. You know, we're still in the same street, basically, as my grandmother's house, Natural Bridge. So you can see Grandma's house right from here.
Uh-huh. Natural Bridge is the main street that goes from one end of the city to the next. Everything happens on Natural Bridge. All the crime, all the fast racing. This is it.
Yeah, that's it.
They say he came out and used the phone, so they had to shoot him right here on this porch.
We've lost a lot of family members here on this street. Andre, as of late, and then before Andre, my father. And in between that was Lyndon's son, Monique's brother, Aaron, who was like my brother. And it's all on this one street, a few blocks from each other. Right across from Grandma's house.
Yeah, that's the sad thing about it.
Since Andre's passing, I haven't gone through this part of the city. And really, I've been avoiding it.
I mean, it's like somebody that I wanted to take under my wing and make sure that he made it. And my goal was to get him through high school. And so when I did that, I really wanted him to go back home, because St. Louis is a city where black men are killing each other. And he came back and then was there like 4 or 5 days and got killed. So that's heartbreaking.
And Linda, with Andre's passing, does that bring up the memories of your son, Aaron?
Yes, it does, because the fact that they both was young men. You know, my son, he got killed because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Andre, when he got killed, he was trying to make music.
Charles and I the only boys left.
That last video clip where Tim took his mom to the spot where Andre was killed, knowing that he had something to do with it, and oh my God, that is just, oh my God, I can't even describe it, like the nerve. This dude has no heart. He has no heart. And how he says, I'm not sure if I shared that clip, but where there was a clip where Tim was saying how he and Charles are the only two males left in their generation, in their family. Of course, there's Timmy, his son with Janae, but Timmy's just a baby. No words. Prayers for Ms.Robbie and all the family. Prayers to Andre's mom, his family in Texas. I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it. May Tim rot. Just let him rot. Thanks for watching.